In the headlines, extension of deadline for primaries divides Nigerians. Two Zamfara banditry kingpins, many others killed in rival clash. Bandits abduct Kaduna students, travelers and burn vehicles on Birningwari Road. Away from Nigeria, Yemen truce hangs in balance as extension talks weaken. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. The extension of deadline for political parties to conduct their primary election by the Independent National Electoral Commission to 9th of June has continued to generate reactions from political parties and civil society organizations. Some political parties and civil society groups in Kaduna who said that the shift will give them room to prepare more, however, fault INEC on the decision. The report.
According to INEC, the shift followed an extension request by political parties to review the time frame within which to conduct their primaries. Despite INEC's justification for the shift, the announcement has continued to generate mixed reactions from political actors and analysts. In Kaduna, some political parties welcomed the shift as it will give them room to cross their T's and dot their I's.
The enlargement of time or the extension of time by the Independent National Electoral Commission is a welcome issue by us, considering the fact that it has given us the advantage to regularize what we have so far collected from the primary elections we have conducted.
This request was made by all the 18 political parties under the umbrella of Inter-Party Advisory Council, that some of the parties are not going to be able to conduct all their primaries within that time limit. And even the INEC did not say you should do fresh primaries. No, they only say where such primaries have not been conducted already, they have now extended 6 days for them to be able to conduct that primary so that they can also fill in their candidates.
Despite commending INEC for the deadline shift, the New Nigeria People's Party says the decision favors the ruling APC the most.
This enlargement of time has to do with complaint mostly by the APC element, who feel if there will be no such an extension, then definitely it will not have time, the party, that's the APC, will not have time to resolve the crisis arising from those congresses they have conducted. At least from that time to when the door will be shut out for them, I don't think they will be able to sort all the problems arising from such congresses. So whether it is to their advantage or to any other person's advantage, we in the NNPP have taken it in good faith.
If you look at it, the APC and the PDP, they have almost concluded all their activities. It is the parties, the opposition parties, the smaller ones, that are almost been taken unawares. If not for this extension that the INEC graciously granted.
For the civil society, the electoral law is designed to accommodate extension but faults the timing.
Ordinarily, one would not have problem with extension of any nature, because even the electoral law, the way it was designed, is designed in such a way that it can accommodate this kind of extension where necessary. But what is fundamentally wrong with the extension is the manner in which INEC did it. If you are going to give an extension of this nature, you should have taken into account so many factors that will not create problem to the political party.
Though the shift will help the smaller opposition parties form alliances ahead of the general election, it will give the ruling APC comparative advantage over opposition.
Analysis coming from a pundit and even political observer that it was deliberately done so that whoever emerged as the flag bearer of the PDP, it will now give APC the opportunity to actually look at this contentious issue of zoning, whether to go with it or to jettison it in order to have a very good comparative advantage over the PDP. But as for the other opposition political parties like this new NPP, the PRP who are also, and Labour who are now trying to create a third force. So I think it has given them the opportunity to negotiate, to form alliance, to form alignment in order for them to come up with a consensus candidate among them that they are going to, that will compete with these other two parties, the APC and the PDP.
Earlier, the National Commissioner and Chairman Voter Education of INEC, Festus Okoye, said the Commission had readily granted the request since INEC had not scheduled any specific activity between 3rd and 9th of June. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The lone presidential aspirant of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, says he is not jittery about the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Kwankwaso made the remark shortly after facing his party's presidential screening panel, saying his exit from the PDP and APC was as a result of monetization of internal democracy. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
As he awaits the ratification of his clearance by the party at his forthcoming national convention scheduled for the 8th of June, Kwankwaso says he is optimistic that Nigerians would have a choice between the status quo in the country or go for a genuine change that will add value to their lives.
I can assure you that at the end of the day, whoever went and purchased a form for 100 million, even when the money is money being stolen, but to the owners is something that belongs to them because they are yet to be invited by those authorities who should ask them questions. And we have seen also what happened in the last convention where money was flying.
Kwankwaso clears the air on recent allegation that he negotiated a deal to deliver delegates to one of the PDP presidential aspirants during the party's presidential convention conducted on Saturday.
Some people were alleging that I collected money for my delegates from Kano. I am not a member of PDP. And the last thing any politician of my standing should do is to go and collect money for somebody. But I'm so happy with the statement because they didn't say that I was given money. The money was not for Rabiu Kwankwaso. They say I collected for delegates. Now I'm sure the delegates must have heard if I collected their money, they should come and take it.
He also speaks on the choice of his running mate, security challenge facing the country, and his disposition to governance.
Nigerians are sick and tired of what is happening. Every day you find lives of innocent Nigerians are being destroyed, either on the roads or in the market or in the houses, everywhere. And it's like the government and all those who should protect those lives are doing close to nothing.
A civil engineer by profession, Kwankwaso was two-time governor of Kano State, former deputy speaker in the Second Republic, a one-time minister of defense and a diplomat. He has gone through Nigeria's major political parties, SDP, PDP, APC, and now NNPP. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A group of concerned Yoruba Muslims are appealing to the leadership of the All Progressives Congress to field a Southwestern Muslim presidential candidate as its flag bearer in the forthcoming 2023 presidential election. The group explained that Muslims in the Southwest have remained quiet for decades and believe that 2023 provides an opportunity to elect the next president who will undo the years of marginalization. The report.
The assumption and attempts to permanently disenfranchise the Southern Muslim, the opportunity to aspire for the highest position of president or vice president of the country is undemocratic, injurious, and will be resisted with all legal means available.
They say it will no longer be business as usual as they will reject any attempt of candidates in position.
This time around, it will no longer be business as usual. And if the party makes the mistake of denying us the opportunity of having a Muslim president through vicious power game plan, we will not take it.
They also added that the call was in no way a means to promote the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, as he isn't the only Yoruba Muslim in the race.
As regards the case of the candidates who are aspirants, it is not only Asiwaju that is a Muslim. At least I can count on my fingertips 3 of them that are well known as Muslims. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Senator Ibikole Amosun, and Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole from Asima. So these three are from the southwest, and they are all Muslims. They are part of the Muslim body from the southwest. We have been disenfranchised and we have been relegated for quite some time. Our own position is that when the position of the presidency is zoned to the north, it is up to the northerner to decide who they want to be. But when the position comes down south, we have seen a general attempt by some people to insist that it is only Christians that should emerge whenever the position comes down to the south.
They explained that although all zones can contest for the presidency, the southwest has worked the hardest.
Anybody can decide to contest for the presidency, but the person or the group or the region must have worked sufficiently enough to justify that calling. Otherwise, they will be seen as jesters.
Staying with political stories, there is element of surprise in the emergence of candidates after months of political calculations and consultations from different political aspirants jostling for different positions to emerge as flag bearers for their respective parties in Katsina State. The 2 leading political parties of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party in the state conducted their primary elections in what was described as the most free and fair primary election since the return of democracy. Trust TV, Jamil Mabe followed the development and files in this report.
The long-awaited period has ended as victors emerged, and the question remained, would aspirants who couldn't clinch the ticket support their party flag bearers? Mouths are waging on the role of delegates in primary election and on the choices made by the delegates. Political godfatherism and imposition of candidate make politics in Katsina less competitive in the past, but this time the game is different, with big names losing party primaries.
But actually, those smaller numbers of the people that were saddled with the responsibility to elect officials that will flag the party flags in the upcoming general election. Actually, the smaller number affected the outcome of the result of the election, because we all know that it is easier to manipulate smaller numbers than larger numbers.
2 governorship candidates that emerged from the 2 leading political parties of All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party took everyone by surprise, given the popularity of other candidates tipped to clinch the ticket. Dr. Umar Ratna defeated 8 other aspirants, including the former secretary to the state government, Mustafa Inwa, and the Katsina State Deputy Governor, QS Maneri Yakubu, with a total of 506 votes. While Yakubu Ladu Damarke of PDP won the election with 700 votes, defeating Salisu Majigiri, the former state PDP party chairman. In APC, All the incumbent senators from the 3 geopolitical zones failed to secure their tickets. On the other hand, Mustafa Muhammad Inua, a leading contender for the APC gubernatorial ticket, congratulated Dukku Ratda and urged his supporters to support the party flag bearer. Whatever the outcome of the election, experts say the new system of choosing party delegates and the new electoral law played a critical role in producing aspirants via a free and fair process. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
2 sons of the Chief Judge of the Federation, Justice Ibrahim Tanko, have clinched National Assembly tickets for the 2023 elections. One of the sons, Siraj Ibrahim Tanko, won the All Progressives Congress ticket for Bauchi North senatorial seat. He defeated 2 other contestants, including the incumbent senator representing the constituency, Senator Adamu Bulkachua. The other son of the CGN, Sani Ibrahim Tanko, won the People's Democratic Party primary election in Shira Giafe Federal Constituency of the House of Representatives. He was elected unopposed. Son of late Governor of Kwara State, Hakeem Lawal, has emerged the state governorship candidate under the Social Democratic Party. He defeated 2 other aspirants to emerge the winner of the primary election. He had earlier emerged as the candidate of the party, but the primary election was cancelled due to a petition written against his victory. In the second primary election, Mr. Lawal polled 606 votes to defeat a former chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Professor Shuaib Abdul Rahim, who polled 177 votes, and Mr. Bolaji Khalil, who had no vote. None of the aspirants was present at the primary election. Mr. Lawal was one of the APC governorship aspirants in Kwara State in 2019. The chairman of the Kwara SDP gubernatorial primary election, Mr. Olatunji Agbami Nojia, announced the result of the election.
Hakeem Oladimeji Lawal scored 606. Professor X. Oba Abdulkarim 177. By the power conferred to me, hereby declared Hakeem Oladimeji Lawal as the winner of these primaries.
And now, away from politics, 2 notorious bandits in Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State, Dullu and Dan Maigari, have been killed alongside at least 15 others during an attack on their base by another notorious bandit, Bello Turji. According to Daily Trust, the clash on Tuesday morning is the bloodiest encounter between the 2 sides, who have been locked in a long rivalry. Reports say that Turji mobilized fighters loyal to him who launched the unexpected attack at the Mania hideout of the rival gang, where they killed some of the gang members, including Dullu himself and Dan Maigari, who is a younger brother of Bashari Mania, a noted bandit turned intermediary. Spokesman of the Zamfara Police Command, SP Shehu Muhammad, could not be reached as at the time of filing this report. In a similar vein, bandits in the early hours of Tuesday abducted students and other travelers along the Birnin-Gwari highway. They also burnt 8 vehicles conveying students to their examination for admission into the School of Health at the Makarfi, scheduled for Kaduna State University. According to a statement by the Public Relations Officer of Birnin-Gwari Emirate Progressive Union, Idris Saidu, the bandits laid siege on 3 different locations on the highway, forcing motorists to make U-turn while some were abducted. One of the students who escaped, Abubakar Haruna Babajo, said 8 vehicles were set ablaze by the bandits after abducting all the passengers, adding that they were lucky to have escaped. Bepu advised intending travelers to either suspend their journey or use other possible alternative routes, saying a large number of bandits were currently stationed at about 3 locations on the highway. Efforts to get police reaction to the kidnap proved abortive, as neither the police commissioner nor spokesman of the State Police Command could be reached as at press time. You're watching the Trust News Update, coming up shortly. Katsina lepers cry out. Details and more after the break. Join us again. Thanks for staying. You're watching Trust News Update. Here is a reminder of our top stories again. Extension of deadline for primaries divides Nigerians. 2 Zamfara banditry kingpins, many others have been killed in rival clash. In other news, trial of Andrew Omini-Koron, the driver of Bus Rapid Transit BRT, who allegedly raped and murdered a 22-year-old fashion designer, Oluwabamise Anyawole, failed to proceed on Wednesday due to the ban on commercial motorcycles. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, had on May 18, 2022, announced a total ban on the operations of commercial motorcycles, also known as Okada, in 6 local government areas in the state with effect from June 1. Following the development, the planned protest by the Okada riders, the Controller of Prisons, Adebisi Adewale, directed a temporary suspension of conveying inmates to various courts in the state due to intelligence and security reports of possible breakdown of law and order during the protest. At the resumed hearing of the case on Tuesday before Justice Sherifat Sonake of the Lagos High Court sitting at Tafawa Balewa Square, the defendant was not produced, but the Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Babajide Martins, after announcing his appearance, informed the court that the prisons service did not bring the inmates to court due to security reasons over the Okada ban. Now, Babbar Ruga Hospital in the suburb of the ancient city of Katsina was established to treat and take care of leprosy and tuberculosis patients over 50 years ago. As an international referral center for leprosy and tuberculosis, as well as other infectious diseases, the hospital is first of its kind in northern Nigeria. However, since the conversion of the hospital to National Obstetrics Fistula Center in 2013, leprosy and tuberculosis patients have been finding it very difficult to get admission and other follow-up cases in the hospital. Abdullahi Amadi takes a look at the plight of the patients and the current position of the hospital.
For the past 40 to 50 years, leprosy and tuberculosis patients come to Babbar Ruga Hospital for medication and treatment. The patients, when admitted at the hospital, were later discharged after recuperating to settle at Ereshanye village, which is a stone throw from Babbar Ruga, for regular follow-ups. This continued over time up to 2013, when the hospital was transformed and converted to its present status. However, the transformation did not go down well with the leprosy and tuberculosis patients, who claimed the hospital was established to reduce their sufferings several years ago. As you can see, I am sick. I have a general body pain. Look at my eyes and my skin. All is not well. They also blamed authorities for throwing them out of the system after the transformation and conversion of the hospital. Though majority of patients with old and new leprosy cases were not around during this visit to Ershanya village, people such as Sarkin Kutari, his secretary Malam Umar, decry stigmatization and lack of concern to their plight as some of their constraints. All my patients can no longer be admitted to Babbar Hospital since 2013, and we are suffering since then. It's pathetic. As the secretary to Sarkin Kutari, I always take our patients to Kofar Kaura Center, but they don't admit new cases. These people say they are dying in silence as a result of abject poverty and the proximity between the village and the Kofar Kaura Center, where they are being referred to for medication. Take a look at my body. Leprosy has finished me. There is no support or help from anywhere. We have been in this condition for a long time now. The medical director of the hospital said that the Katsina State government is providing enough drugs and other medical consumables to treat the patients.
For over 40 years, this hospital has been treating fistula patients, TB and leprosy patients. But this center was taken over by the federal government on the 19th of December 2013, precisely to become a federal government institution that treats only fistula patients.
According to her, this could at least reduce the sufferings of the leprosy and tuberculosis patients, besides removing the economic barrier and risk of traveling this long distance to Maradi in Niger Republic for medication. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And away from Nigeria, a fragile UN-brokered truce between the Yemeni government and Houthi rebels is hanging in the balance Wednesday as talks on renewing it hit trouble, threatening the humanitarian gains of the past 2 months. 8 agencies and Western governments have urged Yemen's warring parties to extend the truce, which has significantly reduced the intensity of fighting in a conflict the United Nations says has triggered the world's worst humanitarian crisis. But with just 1 day before the truce expires, there is no sign of any breakthrough in UN-backed talks. Yemen has been gripped by conflict since the rebels overran Sana'a in 2014, triggering a Saudi-led military intervention in support of the government the following year. And that wraps up Trust News Update. Remember, you can always watch more via our YouTube channel if you subscribe, and also follow us across all social media platforms. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.